First slide, the importance of clearly defining the topic. It is important to clearly define the topic of your research. You can do this with a phrase, a short sentence, or even better, a thesis statement. The thesis statement is the central argument of the essay, paper, or dissertation that you are working on. It should be concise and well written. The thesis statement is usually found in the first paragraph of your paper. It's important to emphasize the relationship of the thesis to the paper and the literature review. The thesis statement focuses the paper and the literature review. An example of a thesis statement that I will use during my presentation is organic foods are safer and more nutritious than genetically modified foods. The search strategy is a plan for finding information for your paper. You can include a concept map or any kind of visual planning guide in this search strategy. More often, a search or research journal is kept. This records anything that has to do with your research. Most importantly, it will record the keywords and subject headings that you will use in search statements. We'll talk a little bit more about search statements in a minute. It also records the databases that you'll need to search to find resources for your topic. And it will also record other things relating to your research. In fact, anything that bears on the paper's requirements, the scope of the paper, deadlines that you have to meet. It identifies the resources that you'll need to use. And you can even record the articles and books that you'll be using in your research. The search statement tells a database what information to search for. It is composed in such a way that the database software understands what it is supposed to look for. Remember this is important. Computers are literal. They process commands based on the keystrokes you make. In the same way, databases retrieve search results based on the words that you enter. Learning how to identify correct terms and phrases for your topic is essential for conducting successful searches. Let's use our example thesis statement to identify the key words for that thesis. Organic foods are safer and more nutritious than genetically modified foods. You will start off by identifying keywords in the thesis statement, and they'll be at the top of the list of keywords that you'll be using in your searches. Just as the thesis may be modified after more information is accessed and evaluated, so the thesis statement may be modified also. It evolves along with the thesis. Once you have your basic list of keywords from the thesis statement, the next thing you need to do is identify more keywords that you would use to search in databases. You, of course, start by identifying the most important words in your thesis. They're normally going to be nouns. If the word that you identified as important in your thesis is not a noun, you can always change it to a noun. It's important to have a long list of keywords that you will be using when you do your searches. The keywords that you will include in the search statement that you compose for the database you're going to be using can be combined by Boolean operators. And, or, and not are the three Boolean operators. There are no other Boolean operators. And you will combine words with these Boolean operators and combines terms so that each search result contains all of the terms. Or combines terms so that each search result contains at least one of the terms. Not excludes terms. Each search result does not contain any of the term that follow not. You can use a wildcard in a search statement. A wildcard usually comes inside of a word. Women is a good example. Let's say you're looking for records that have either the singular or plural of woman or women. Well, you could type WOM question in. And what the software will do is look for women or woman. Most of the databases understand what that question mark means, and that's called a wildcard. You can also use truncation in your search statement. If you type a base word like compute, say C-O-M-P-U-T, and put an asterisk after the T, the database is going to look for compute, computer, computerization. It's going to look for that base word, C-O-M-P-U-T, and any other letters added after it. You can use parentheses in your search statement. For example, dogs or cats in parentheses, and show or parade in parentheses. What's going to happen in that example is that the software is going to look for dogs or cats first, because those two words are in parentheses and they're combined with the Boolean operator or, and create a subset of records that have either dogs or cats. And then it's going to take that subset and look for either the word show or parade, because and is there, and the word show or parade is combined by or and in parentheses. And it's going to create a second subset in which the records have either dogs or cats and show or parade. That's what parentheses do. Another technique that you can use in your search statement is quotation marks. If you have two or more words and you want those words to be searched as a phrase, in other words, you want those words to be found adjacent to each other in the records, you can use quotation marks. All of the databases understand what the quotation marks mean. So if you're looking for the phrase literature review, and it's important that the software look for literature review and not each word separately, then use quotation marks. Limiting. You can usually tell the software to look for certain dates of publication if you want to. You don't necessarily have to type those dates in the search statement, but there is a window or a place on in the search screen where you can type those years that are important for you. So if you want something, an article or articles published after 2000, you can tell the software to look just for articles that were published after 2000. And there are several other ways that you can limit your search. It's a good idea to look for the help button in the search window or in the search screen. It'll always be there. Just click on help and you can get a lot more information about how to create search statements and to limit your search. Using our thesis statement, here's an example of a search statement that I could use in one of the databases to find information for my thesis. Organic food with a truncation symbol after it, and also with parentheses around organic food, or organic farming with organic farming surrounded by parentheses, or genetically modified food with a truncation mark after food surrounded by parentheses, or biotechnology, and nutrition or diet or food habits with quotation marks around food habits, or nutritious food with quotation marks around nutritious food. This is an example, a good example of a search statement that you would use in the database.